Ever since I started working on this project, I wanted to reach a point where I can make a build and play the game on my phone. Making a build and playing the game on the intended device is a different feeling altogether. It truly motivates me. Since I daily drive an iOS device, I would need a macOS machine to make a build for it. Because I didn't have a Mac, I decided to start with the Android build. I dug through my clutter and I found a really old Android device that I used to use. Android builds are very easy in Unity. All you have to do is install the package and enable developer mode on the Android device, and you can sideload the APK that Unity generates. I had an Android build in no time. This felt so cool seeing the game on the device. The device was a little slow, but it works. The next was making a build for iOS. I was dreading this. I know how hard it is making a build for Apple devices. First thing I needed to do was install the iOS package for Unity. I made the Xcode project from Unity using my Windows machine. The next thing I needed was a Mac to complete the build. I don't have one, so I decided to look at my options. I read online that you could rent a remote Mac and do whatever is needed. So I decided to use the free trial of one of these remote Mac servers. I needed to transfer my Xcode project to the server to make a build, and I tried using remote desktop, but it wouldn't allow me. So the only option I had was to upload the project to some online storage and then download it on the remote Mac. I did that and I tried to make a build with it, but I got an error. I googled it and found the solution for it. Then I tried to make a build again, but I had to fix something else this time. Finally, when it started to build, it threw another new error. It needed an iOS device attached to the build machine to be able to make a build. And that wasn't possible. So I had to move on to another solution. I thought about using virtualization to run an instance of macOS on my Windows laptop, but I couldn't get that to work either. I had to resort to the last option. I asked a friend if I could use their Mac to make a build. They graciously allowed me. I remoted into the Mac, downloaded Xcode, transferred my project files, fixed the bugs that I had before, and started to make a build. Doing this remotely was tough, but if I wanted an iOS build, this was the only option available to me. After fixing some minor bugs, I got the build working on my friend's iPhone. Now the question is, how do I install the build on my device? There was no easy way. I had to do multiple steps to get a simple test install on my device. But I got it to work and I could play the game. It was running very slow. I suspect it has something to do with the fact that I kind of hacked the install on my device. I tried to reinstall it, but it won't let me install it anymore. And I have no clue why. I did learn a couple of things from the build working on my device. I think the important one was the UI was not placed the way I wanted it to be placed. If I really want to release this to the App Store, I will have to find an alternative workflow for this. I'm not sure what I can do with the limited budget I have. I knew it was hard to make a build for Apple devices, but I never imagined it to be so hard to set up. I do know that it does become a lot easier once the initial setup is complete. Getting the build to work on the iPhone made me really happy, but I'm a little worried about how I'm going to handle this in the future. And with that thought in my head, I called it a night. Next week I'll be preparing for an alpha build of this game.